The Sandakphu trek was organized by the Karnataka Mountaineering Association between the 28th of March and the 4th of April. It was a large contingent of 36 members with an age range from 13 years to 76 years. The group was very diverse, consisting of people from different walks of life, including homemakers, doctors, a captain in a merchant navy, a pilot, students and others. The team was ably led by two very experienced trekkers as leaders, Mrs. Vasumati and Mrs. Smita. Travelled to Bagdogra from Bangalore by flight and took a car to Dhotre, the first point of our trek in the border between West Bengal and Nepal. The trek was a 5-day trek beyond Dhotre, covering a total of about 45 kilometers and reaching to a maximum height of about 12,000 feet. The stays beyond Dhotre included Tumlung, Kalapokri, Sandakphu, Gurdum and Darjeeling via Sri Khola. The village itself is a fairly small village. The accommodation there was quite reasonable, with clean rooms and a clean toilet. We travelled to Dhotre by Tata Sumos. The ride was a little bumpy but quite tolerable. It was nice to be in the hills. Dhotre is at an elevation of 8,500 feet. After some early morning stretching exercises, we set off from Dhotre to Tumling. The ascent was pretty gradual. The path was through some lovely rhododendron forests. Several trees were in bloom. Occasional magnolia flowers were seen as well. Altogether, a lovely trek. Only the last part, when we reached near a place called Tulung, was a bit steep. At a place called Tonglu, just a little short of Tumling, we saw stone markings marking the Indo-Nepal border. Tumbling was a biggish place. The accommodation was a little more comfortable than Dotre. Food was plentiful and had a better choice. The place was remarkable for lovely passing clouds. We left Tumbling a little late at around 8:45 and reached Kalapokri by about 5:30. It was nearly dark by the time we reached our destination. The trek was a little tougher than the previous day. There was an initial descent followed by an ascent, and the ascent through the bamboo forests was a little steep. But before we reached that area, we walked on motorable roads with large stones, and that was a bit heavy on the knees, but the group did very well. Our trek was mostly through the Singlila National Park, and we were getting in and out of Nepal all the way through. The border is indistinct and pretty porous. We had a few Indian and Nepalese checkposts, but there was no hassle in getting through them. Throughout the day, the weather was really great, cool, not too bright, and ideal for trekking. We were many times passing through mist and low clouds, adding to the beauty of the trek. Next day was a trek from Kalapokri to Sandakphu. The day began with a view of an absolutely gorgeous sunrise at Kalapokri. We got up at 5 and went to the area where we could see sunrise. It was, to me, the highlight of the whole trip. Low-lying clouds covering the valley, different hues as the sun came up, and then the red ball of the sun coming up. It really was very, very beautiful. After the sunrise, we could actually see the actual Kalapokri, a very small pond which we had missed the previous day because of low-lying clouds. As we left Kalapokri, we could actually see Sandakphu on top of a hill or a mountain, and it looked far away. But as we made our progress, as it happened, it was pretty straightforward. Of cobbled stone street, some cemented path, and some steps as well. As we neared Sandakphu, we had the first view of the sleeping Buddha, Sleeping Buddha basically consists of the face, which is called Kumbhakarna, and the 5 peaks of Kanchenjunga, which forms the belly. Fairly basic, and a particular problem was lack of water. Sandakphu, half of it belongs to Nepal and the other half is in India, and there is one compound which runs across right in the middle of the little village which separates the two. But by and large there is hardly any differentiation, and the so-called border is indeed very porous. Sandakphu is a very windy place. It made it feel colder than the 3 degrees that was the temperature there, and it kept us awake at night with the sheer noise of the wind. That evening we had a very nice view of the sunset at Sandakphu. We were lounging bed early in the morning when one of our friends, Vivek, got us out of bed to have the gorgeous view of Mount Everest and the sleeping Buddha from right outside our accommodation. No road connectivity between Sandakphu and Sri Kola. So essentially the luggage was transported through mules. The descent from Sandakphu was quite steep, even though there was a laid out path for quite a bit of the distance. There were areas when we had to struggle with deep, slippery descents, but the path through the forest was very beautiful and enjoyable. We took our time to reach Gurdam. Some of us had some difficulty with trauma to the toes while descending. Homestay at Gurdam was really quite beautiful. Gurdam as a village itself is very picturesque. We were thinking that it was probably worth just coming and staying there for a few days and doing nothing more than taking regular walks every day for 2 or 3 days. The houses were beautiful and well maintained with very nice colorful gardens with a lot of flowers in every household. Even our homestay itself was very well maintained and the food was indeed very nice.
have inspired, if I tell you about them, you don't know about them. We have two cancer survivors here. One is Prema. Prema, the breast cancer survivor. The other one is Shilpa.
Wow.
Do you know that she has only one eye?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, yes.
She doesn't have both the eyes.
Only one eye.
Only one eye she has, other one is artificial eye.
Amazing.
So if you can close your eye and walk 100 meters. Yeah,
You take this towards this side.
Handshake, madam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
और का भी गाना पड़ेगा
Shivram and you, PSR and you, Vasan Chetty. He's changed his surname.
Lakshman sir, please share the please share all these.
Martin. Typical Reddy.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
पूरा कंप्लीट करने में आप लोगों के बिना डेफिनेटली नहीं होता. You've all been really supportive and helpful and cheerful. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
The last day of the trek was from Gurdum to Srikola. Relatively short trek, easy as well, through picturesque forests. All the houses that we saw at the villages on the way were having beautiful gardens with very colorful flowers. We reached Srikola after approximately 4 hours of trek and had lunch there and got on to the sumos which had come to the lunch place and reached Darjeeling after a rather bumpy 5-hour drive. split up at Darjeeling and did their own thing through the day. The four of us hired a taxi and went around the sites of Darjeeling, like the Buddhist monastery, the Shanti Stupa, the rock garden, and the highlight of course was the steam train from Ghum back to Darjeeling. Thanks to our friends, we had lunch at the Forest Guest House at Ghum. Both in the morning and evening, we had nice walks in the Mall Road, which was a nice circuit around the hill. And during this time, we also went up the hill and visited the Shiva temple, Mahakaleshwar. The highlight of the morning walk was a lovely tea from one of the several vendors who sell tea early in the morning on the Mall Road. Altogether a day well spent in Darjeeling.
This is the Patasia loop.
The last day was a 5.5 hour drive from Darjeeling to Bagdogra. The highlight was a safari at Siliguri. We had a morning walk in the Mall Road again, enjoyed the tea there, and then set off on a car ride, the Tata Sumo, to Darjeeling. The ride was bumpy, but what was interesting was the railway track running right adjacent to the road. Thanks to Dr. Reddy, the safari was a very easily organized event. quite a nice safari. To add to our excitement, there was a breakdown of the bus next to the tiger enclosure. To the credit of the staff at Safari, they quickly organized a replacement bus and we got on with our safari with minimal disturbance.
Now the buffer is let's
Had a nice lunch at a Punjabi dhaba, and this brought the curtains down on a memorable trek.